Hey everyone, my name is Carlton Herbert, and here's what I put together for my final presentation for ARC602 in the final semester of the Masters of Architecture program at ASU. The program was a center for John McCain, and I chose to focus on a library, a museum, and conference center that would be integrated into it. I also chose to work with the site and build the program kind of underground in some portions and lean into some of the topography that exists on the site, as well as some of the precedent from local cultures in the area. It is based in Tempe, Arizona, so there's a strong connection to a local culture and history of native peoples of the area, and then also looking into things like adobe structures, rammed earth structures, and playing up the underground nature of the structure. This helps for several reasons, one being the benefits of geothermal cooling, and then also looking into using some concrete and rammed earth structures, as well as some steel as well. In order to get kind of the feelings and themes of the project, I put together these two collages. This one to kind of just get a feel of the city and the river and the connection to the site, as well as this kind of underground but still accessible image as well. When researching John McCain, I came across several values and themes that I wanted to keep in mind, such as values and strength, liberty, humility, cooperation, and many other things that John McCain was known for. The site here is located in Tempe, Arizona. You can see here it's very close to the Tempe Town Lake and the ASU Tempe campus, as well as the Papago Park. So there's a lot of natural desert vegetation surrounding the site. The area here just points out some of those features, and then also some research here into the ecology and climate of the area. It's a very arid and dry climate, and very hot as well. There's a lot of desert vegetation, generally low bush and low tree. Also some zoning and urban structure research, as well as the hydrology and geography. The Tempe Town Lake is nearby, but obviously it is a very deserty environment. And then looking as well into the demographics and equity of the site. And the existing site here shows the ASU Community Services building that's currently on the site that would be demolished as part of this project. But this gives you just a general idea of what the site looks like as it stands today, as well as some of the sections through the site that show different elevations. When I decided to go through the design process here, I started with just a rectangular form here, and then played with adding some extensions, taking out some voids, and then swapping out for some kind of circular forms, and ultimately arrived at that final concept for the structure of the form of the building. And then here's how that building sits in the site. Like I mentioned before, there's a lot of cultural and regional precedent from the surrounding area for architecture from native peoples, such as Montezuma's Castle, the Sinagua peoples, and the Pueblo Grande of the Hokum peoples. So I tried to play into that, as well as bring in some strategies for dealing with that hot, arid climate. So using things like concrete floors for high thermal mass, lots of shade structures and shade structures on the windows as well, using tall vertical windows. Also using some of that rammed earth, the walls that are above grade, looking into some skylights to get some light into the underground areas, and also some integration of solar panels to help generate some on-site power. And here's some of the structural systems. I wanted to look into using precast concrete arches for that structure that mainly sits underground in order to support the earth above. Also looking into using these precast hollow core concrete floors, some slab on grade floors, some cast-in-place concrete footings, cast-in-place concrete stem walls and retaining walls in order to support the earth in the buried section, as well as some structural steel beams. Here's the programming. Ultimately, the building is buried in the earth there, you can see on the left, and then broken up between admin offices, a museum, learning spaces, conference center, library and research center, and service entry and archives area. So here's the below ground portion here. You can see on the left, the service and utilities area, the archives, and then the library, which is broken up into the library and research center, the learning spaces, the public gathering, and the conference center. And then the upper floor, which is the ground floor, you can see the building on the left there. This is the administration area, and then main entry, top right, and then the museum, cafe, gift shop, and outdoor covered space. Here's some elevations, give some perspective of the views from around the site of the building, as well as some sections, just to get a better feel of how that building sits in the site. So a couple more detailed sections of looking kind of east-west through the building, as well as north and south. And you can see the lots of natural daylight through skylights and windows, and then lots of cooling through the underground portion of the building. And then a few more, just more detailed sections of that library and research center area, showing those concrete arches and skylights, and then how it works with the museum that's structured above. And then here's a few just kind of quick perspective sections to look through the building. And then site plan here. So the area where the existing building was will be reclaimed for desert vegetation. Then there's the main visitor access on the right, and then service access on the left. There's some secondary parking kind of near the outdoor cover space. And then there's kind of some desert vegetation infill between the two upper portions of the building. Some outdoor cover spaces for staff and visitors towards the top, and then also some primary covered parking. The foundation plan here shows the concrete columns with varying sizes, larger ones to support kind of the road that would be driving over top that underground portion. And then the below ground detailed plan here, showing how those rooms and spaces are set up, as well as the ground level plan showing some more detail there as well. And then the roof plan here showing the rooftop utilities on top and solar arrays and those shade structures. Here's a few just kind of exterior perspectives to give a sense of the scale of the building on the site, some of the outdoor areas there. And then some interior perspectives of the museum, how the visitors would interact with it, the various exhibits. And then the underground portion of the library and the research center, as well as the access, primary circulation there, and a waiting area and space for the conference center. And here's the archives and admin area as well. And I put together this quick little walkthrough video. This shows you that outdoor covered area as you'd be entering the site, looking towards that main entry. There's a curve here to kind of direct that, and then you can see here it kind of cuts down into the earth to get into the building. And then here's this elevation showing those tall vertical windows, and then the main conference center area with steel and glazing curtain frame system. And then this is the more admin service side of the building. It has the same general form with the layout of the windows. You can see those skylights in the earth there for the underground portion. And then coming around here, there's a covered outdoor portion for the admin and staff. And then the main service entry there, be able to move exhibits and artifacts around back and forth through the archives. And then here's where you would enter the site or enter the building as a visitor, with the information desk there, and then just starting to get into the museum portion with lots of exhibits, lots of seating area, elevators for some vertical circulation. And then over here, getting towards some more seating area, as well as the gift shop and little cafe to be able to take out to that outdoor portion. Here's the primary circulation between the ground floor and the underground section. And then down here into the research center and the library. And the idea here is just to give lots of space for seating and people to spend their time learning about John McCain, as well as researching more into civic engagement. And then just looping back over here, this portion here would be mainly for group learning or for as a waiting area for the conference center. Highlighting the rammed earth wall, as well as some spaces here for more private learning rooms. Some space under the stairs for seating, and then moving here into the last portion, which is the main conference center, with some great views of that desert vegetation and natural landscape out there. In summary, the project here focused on these words and phrases. I tried to just keep these in mind as I was designing, and I believe that these help describe the sense of local that this building brings to the area. And I believe that it will be a great addition to the site, great place for civil discourse, and a place for further learning and engagement for the community. So thanks for taking a look.